We are the dialed in, my friends. And we keep on dialing to the end. Okay, I'm sorry. Right, I'm sorry. If you've made it past that, well, you are a real one. I think I've just lost about half the audience from doing that. But it was in my head. The intrusive thoughts took over and I had to say it. I don't know. Let's forget that ever happened. Today, I don't even know why I'm singing such a positive song because today we're going to be talking about things that aren't as positive, things that aren't as enlightening. And a lot of my podcasts, they go into practical tips of self improvement. A lot of them go about being grateful, training, nutrition, I touch on too. But one of the biggest things with improving yourself that is definitely 100% for a fact going to happen is that you are going to feel bad sometimes and you are going to get rejected sometimes and you are going to have to eat shit sometimes. And a lot of people do not talk about this. They only talk about the glitz, the glam, because, well, I don't know, there's different reasons. If you were selling a course and you wanted people to get into your course, you would be like, let's only talk about the good stuff. So people only hear about the good stuff. But not me, because I'm the best human ever. I'm always joking. I'm not. I'm a bad person. But I'm going to talk about this anyway because I just like talking about different topics of self improvement. And this is one that is very important and one that I face myself and everyone faces. Anyone says that they don't face this, they're lying to your face. Go tell them to do it because they're the biggest liars ever. So, while I'm doing this as well, if you're watching the video, I'm actually going to walk around. I just moved into a new house, so I'm going to walk around the new house. You're going to get to see my new house. You're going to basically get a house tour while live. So I'm in my room now, right now, which is the third floor, and you're going to see the rest of the house, and I'll probably set up camp somewhere during this all. But yeah, basically, first of all, let's talk about rejection. Rejection is something that I'm well too familiar with because if a lot of you people who watch my Instagram, watch my TikTok, if you're watching my TikTok, head over on Instagram, drop me a follow. It's far better. My stories are fucking class. But a lot of you people who watch me and watch my shorter videos and shorter stuff, you might have seen the rejection therapy, and that's not all just to gather attention, and that's not all just to ask for hugs or raise people. It is a necessary part of improving yourself. It's a necessary part of making a change, facing rejection. And facing rejection, it is scary and it's something that you want to avoid. And we are prone as humans to want to avoid rejection because guess what? Rejection is actually related to death. And that probably sounds really weird, but give me a second. If you think about caveman times, if you were in a tribe and you got rejected from the rest of your tribe, you would be sent out into the forest and you would die. So the reason, this is scientific, by the way, it's dialed into, I need to stop. But the reason that people don't like rejection is because whenever you're rejected, you feel like you're lonely, and whenever you're out lonely, that leads to death. And you'll find that most fears, rejection being one of them, they lead to death. A lot of people fear, going on stage and maybe doing a public speech, but your brain doesn't actually naturally just fear doing a public speech. It fears death. It fears standing in front of a scary audience and having the chance to be chastised by them. And just whenever you feel fearful, that is normally because most fears relate to death. Remember that. Don't forget that. And with rejection, you're also going to feel like death is going to come. But here's the thing about the things you fear now. Back in caveman days, yes, you would die if you did these things. You would die if you went out and you did something different and you got rejected. But you see now, you don't die. You actually thrive by facing rejection, and that's why the people who do face rejection, the people that do the things that no one else wants to do, they get the results that nobody else gets. And the people that don't get those results ask, how do they do it? What's their secret? They don't really have a secret. It's just that they've did the shit and took the action that nobody else has took. And just a wee piece for dealing with rejection, because being afraid of facing rejection and actually dealing with rejection, they're actually two very different things. Let me just set up my phone here. I've got a wee chair here, I might just set that up. But facing rejection, or being scared to face rejection, and actually facing it and having to deal with it, very, very different. Let me explain now. I'll make sure my seat is set up. I've got a nice wee chair by the fire. Oh my word, what a setup. If you're watching this on the video, you are in for a treat. But yeah, so basically, when you fear rejection, that is okay beforehand, as you know. And it's like, right, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Most people don't go through with facing that rejection. So the fact that you've already faced rejection, like even if you've just faced rejection right now and you feel really bad about it, and I might even send you the podcast because you feel really bad about a rejection, remember this: 99% of people wouldn't have even put themselves in the situation to feel that rejection. So the fact you're even in the position you are now already shows that you're going to get a result and you're going to get a better outcome than most people. Now, step two, you've made it here, you've faced that, you've seen that rejection, you've felt it, and you might feel bad about it. And the rejection could be that maybe a date didn't work out, maybe you got rejected socially by a friend, or you told someone a hard truth and they didn't like it and they told you to go out, or you could have did public speaking and it didn't go as well as you thought it would, or you could have got embarrassed by a coworker. A coworker could have said something and embarrassed you in front of a whole group. There's a lot of different ways you can get rejected, but you're not going to die. Right now you're feeling like you are going to die. Right now you're feeling like you might be embarrassed and that it's going to lead you down a horrible path, but you need to zoom out and look at actually what you've just been through. Is it really that bad? No. But does that mean you can't be upset? No, like you can be upset by that, because obviously you haven't faced anything worse than that. So you may feel bad, but you need to realize that's not going to last forever, and it's actually a good thing that you're feeling this. Because see, if you didn't feel the pain of rejection, you would be feeling the pain of regret of not actually going through and facing the rejection. If you went up to a girl or a guy, asked for their number, and you got rejected and you feel bad, that's a good thing, because if you didn't feel bad, it means you didn't do it. And if you didn't do it, well, you'd feel bad and feel like there's regret. You'd feel like there's missed opportunity. You'd feel like there's missed potential, which you never went through. So it's very important to always have that mindset around it, that okay, it didn't work out, but you did it anyway. And the reason that this is really important if you're learning from anything here, it's this. And this goes with everything in life, with the gym, with work, with making money, with relationships. The reason that you feel disappointed or upset because of an outcome is solely because of you, and you have control of how you feel from that outcome. So we'll use the approaching the opposite sex example, or if you're gay or lesbian, approaching the same sex example. If you go up to someone that you like and you get rejected, well, you might feel shit, you might feel bad, but that's because you're telling yourself that you should get a yes, that the barrier for success is getting a yes from that opportunity. But what if you just reframed yourself and you just said, right, to succeed, I just need to ask the question. Doesn't matter what the outcome is. It doesn't matter if they say yes. It doesn't matter if they say no. As long as I've went up and I've asked the question, that means I've showed up as the best version of me. I've did something scary. I've put myself out of the comfort zone, and I've reaffirmed the identity that I want to build. That is the main thing. Whereas other people will say, oh, I went on a date and it didn't work out, and it was the first date I've been on ages. This is so shit. I feel so shit. Do you not realize you made progress even though the date didn't work out because you went from not going on dates to going on dates? Oh, I approached someone today and it was shite. Well, you didn't approach anyone in the last month and you approached someone in the last 24 hours. That is a success. The only reason it doesn't feel like a success is because you told yourself the success needs to be that you get a yes. But the success doesn't need to be that you get a yes. The success could be that you show up. Same with the gym. You're not always going to get results as fast as you want. You're not always going to gain muscle as fast as you want or lose fat as fast as you want. And sometimes you need to, sometimes you're not going to get it straight away. You need to delay the gratification. You need to do work. Then the result comes. But it's hard to just work with seeing no result. Because if you tell yourself, oh, it has to be that result and then I'll be happy, that'll be the success. Well, you're not going to actually do the work because you're not actually going to enjoy the work. Whereas, if you said instead of success being this outcome, the success is the process, the success is the journey, the success is me showing up to the gym. And if I work, that work is what makes me feel successful. It's not the outcome of the work, it's the doing the work by itself. I feel good when I go to the gym. I feel great when I train. I feel amazing walking out of a workout and knowing I gave it my all. That should be success because you have control over that. Sometimes you're not going to have control over how fast you see the result, but you have control over actually showing up to the gym, being there, eating right, training good, sleeping good. That's the success. Make success the process. And what I mean by process is the journey rather than the outcome. And what I mean by outcome is the thing that you get. So getting abs again. Getting abs could take ages. It can take you a long time. But if the success is right, I need to wake up and eat right, train, drink water, get my steps. And that success, you're going to enjoy the process a lot more. Whereas most people give up because they start a journey. They tell themselves that success has to be this massive thing. They don't achieve that massive thing in a week. They get disappointed and they give up. Whereas if you say, instead of achieving this massive thing, is successful, doing the small things is success. Hitting my steps is success. Doing the meal prep is success. Tracking my lifts is success. That means instead of you having to wait for a massive success, which most people won't have the patience to wait for, instead you are succeeding and you're feeling great every single day and you're feeling success. I don't know how many times I've said success, but you're feeling that every day. And that's how winners are made. Winners love the process. They don't love every part of the process because there's going to be times where it feels shite. There's going to be times where you do get rejected and you just feel bad. There's going to be times where you just feel like nothing's going for you. But the thing is, they will make it so it's the small pebbles and the small dominoes, and each small domino that is a win rather than the massive fucking ultra domino at the end of the journey. Most people see the ultra domino, they say, I want that. They go on the journey to get the ultra domino and they get annoyed and see the small dominoes as the obstacle. But guess what? That's not the obstacle. That is the way. So, yeah. And just the last thing on hard times. Guys, we all face hard times. We all go through it. Not every day you are going to feel like a winner. Not every day you are going to feel like the best version of you. But the main thing is that you don't give up, because the only way you will feel, you don't feel if you get rejected. You don't feel, by the way, I'm saying feel, not feel, which a lot of people get confused. You don't feel if you get rejected. You don't feel if you fuck up your diet for one meal. You don't feel if you hit the gym and you don't feel like you gave it your all. The only time you truly feel is when you completely give up on yourself. That's how you feel. When you say, you know what, I'm going to stop this journey. You know what, I'm not going to continue on. You know what, this isn't going to work. That is a failure. That is someone that needs to sit down, look themselves in the mirror and say, right, I am self-sabotaging. But if you've just done a wee fuck up or things just haven't worked for a few weeks, you haven't failed. As long as you keep showing up, as long as you keep getting up. Bitch. Whew! Right. I'm pretty sure that was good. I think that was good. I hope you find value from this. I hope you find this useful. And if you have and you're not following me on Instagram, if you listen to this and you don't follow me on Instagram, definitely follow me on Instagram, because I put a lot of this stuff on stories. If you're listening to this the last week of August, I'm doing a free live workshop, basically where I go into concepts like this on how to get the best result possible, on how to completely change your life. Doing one tomorrow, Thursday at 6 p.m. Then the other one's on Sunday, the 31st of August at 12 p.m. So midday. If you can't make it, 100% go to it. I'll be there live. You can ask me questions live. It's free, and I'm just going to be breaking down as much as possible. And I don't do these that often. This will be the last one I do for a long time, because I'm away traveling next month, which is I'm very excited for, and I'll be making a lot of podcasts doing that. But yeah, if you do want some value, definitely make it to that workshop if you haven't already went. Point number 2, if you have found this podcast very, very useful, and you find that you haven't been seeing progress and results off all the information I've been given, most of the time it's not information, it is actually implementing the thing. So we are running an intake the first week of September. On Monday the 1st of September, everything's getting launched, taking on new clients. And yeah, I always say September is the best time to make change. So if you do want to make a change, you do want to look into how we can help, just reach out, just message me time, and we can discuss that further and see if you want to go forward with absolutely changing the fuck out of your life. So yeah, hard sell's done. I am the biggest scammer of the 21st century, as they say. I'm not joking. No one says that. Guys, thank you for listening. If you've listened to this and you have got value, even just give me a message of how you found it, because I love to make podcasts like this. I actually really, really enjoyed this. So yeah, just make sure to message me, because sometimes it's hard to know. Like, some of you may have not did a podcast before, but whenever you're making a podcast like this, you do just feel like you're talking to your phone, because you cannot see the audience, you cannot see the people. But obviously there are people watching, according to Spotify. But it just brings it to life when people actually reach out, and just makes me so much more excited. Like, I had a few people reach out that they've been listening to the podcast, and like, that's just really got me going, and that's why even there I was speaking so passionately. So make sure to reach out if things have been useful, things have been helpful. And yeah, that's all from me, guys. Have a good one. And do not forget, never ever forget that the only time you truly feel is when you give up on yourself. Thank you very much, because I'm never giving up on you.